को दिन को काया जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna My Prem Namaste, Vanakkam, Namaskaram, good afternoon. In times like this, somber moments, we contemplate and meditate upon God's divine wisdom. This infinite wisdom that God has given each and every one of us the opportunity or this gift of life. And often the saying goes that God gives you the gift of life, and what you make of it becomes your gift back to Him. In our holy scriptures, namely the Bhagavad Gita, there is this understanding that has evolved over the soul's lifetime. We believe that over millions of years, the soul evolves right from the minute, most microscopic atom to the pinnacle of creation, of God's creation, which is the human being. And in this process of birth and death, the soul takes on a new body or a new exterior shell to fulfill that purpose in its life, in its journey. The Bhagavad Gita speaks about how over lifetime upon lifetime, the soul takes a different body, likened to the fact of each and every one of us waking up each morning, putting on new clothing, changing our clothing depending on the occasion we may attend, putting on our night garments, and so on and so forth. Physically, we change clothing, but the body is the same. In God's divine creation, the bodies may change, but the Atma or the soul is the same. The Atma is that indivisible, supreme, absolute light that has come from light itself and will eventually merge back with light. With that being said, we have a tribute on behalf of the family, and I would like to call upon the first speaker to deliver his tribute.
Good afternoon, family and friends. To my bereaved family, may the good Lord console you. May the peace of God generate in your lives and comfort you at the great loss of a great man. This afternoon, I want to start my speech in the early years of 1952. There where I came to my senses. I grew up as a little boy at Columbia Barracks. My mum and Hunsraj, hence we called Hens, my pet name, were two sisters. Hens's mother was my mum's elder sister. And whenever we had holiday from school, first thing my mum would say, we going to Snember to meet my sister. To us it was like going to the States because we were so excited. So we used to pack our bags, walk from Columbia State to Manaskum, board the train at Manaskum station, come to Tongat, board a bus, and travel all the way to Upper Tongat, called Snember. And believe me, the moment we arrive at Beckett Farm, then where they resided. You see the entire family, all the brothers and the sisters and our dear aunt awaiting our arrival. And what a reunion we used to have. We miss that nowadays, especially the younger generation. I must say that we're losing it. Those days, there was so much of love, so much of kindness, so much of joy. And when they met us and took us home, my uncle, we used to call him Babu. Babu worked for a white man by the name of Bull. He was a head Sardar in the whole farming area. And Babu lived in a very humble house, which is, if I can remember correctly, 9 children. He had a mud and thatch roof home. It was about 20 meters long, believe me. And all the children were reared in that home. Of course, they had partitions in the homes, not like our days. All the children were reared in that home. And Hans was very, very close to me because we were almost the same age. He was a couple of years junior to me, but we got so used to each other. Whenever I got to his home, the first thing he'll say, okay, let's go to the pond to fetch water. And I still remember he taught me how to fetch water from the pond. We should go to the pond and you should take some sugarcane leaves and move all the leaves from the top, and we should get water from the pond. Today we say that we're living in luxury. We got a big home, everything found, everything luxury, but water tap right into our homes. But unfortunately our taps are running dry. It's sad. So we don't live luxury now. We lived our luxury life when we were very young. And we explained to our youngsters, they wouldn't believe us. Then we should go and fetch firewood. All our female sisters, Hans, and some of the brothers, we all go together in the bush, we'll pick up woods, we'll burn it up, and my female sisters should carry it on their head, we should come home. And when we come home, it was like a real joy for us, like a vacation that we used to have. And in the evenings, all of us will go into the bath, we have our meals. Then Babu will say, okay, let's sit around the fire. We should sit around the fire, and Babu should tell us stories that his father told him from India. And it should be so interesting, we should continue sometime 10, 11 o'clock night, he's still telling us stories. To us it was a vacation. And my aunt, she used to get up very early in the morning. The moment she'll start sweeping the yard, we know it's time for us to get up. That was our signal to get up. She'll be sweeping the yard all over, putting the cow down on the floor and sweeping the yard. And then, talking about Hans. Hans and I were very, very close. Hans grew up to be a wonderful, perfect personality. I haven't heard Hans one day raise his voice or shout at his children or shout at any personality. He grew up to be a wonderful, perfect man. And then when he grew up, he started to work at the Whiteheads company, traveled all the way from Snowmember to Whiteheads, very, very faithfully, worked 3 shifts. And later, we thank God he tried to find a house in Tongat at Belvedere, one of those flats, where he was close to us. And life wasn't tough. To rear his children, life wasn't tough. But this was a perfect example, a perfect father. Today I can say to the children, your father was a perfect father, a gentleman, someone that I respected although he was younger than me. His personality was tops. I haven't heard his voice one day shouted at anybody, always smiling. And he was a man that looked for his family, his relatives, always go around visiting them. That's what kept us together. And then later, he started working at Whiteheads, and later he met his dear wife, my aunt. She lived in New Farm. He got married, and she was a perfect match to Hans. And I could say that very bravely, that she had the same personalities that Hans had, simple, humble woman. And that has been passed, I'm so glad today to say that, to the children. When I look at the children, the sons and the daughters, what perfection you can see in them. God-fearing children, loving children. And whilst Hans lived at the flats, a little later, his eldest son, being such a wonderful person, sometimes I want to give a little speech to the youngsters. Honor your father and your mother, that your days upon earth will be prolonged. Some of us discard our parents when they get old, but thank God for these children. They took care of the father and the mother till the very latter part. Vinod brought his father and mother, housed them at his house where he lives, to the very latter part. And sometimes when our parents get very old, when they get sickly, we try to tend them, send them to their homes. But these children, I take my hat off for them. I salute them this afternoon in a manner that took care of my dear cousin, my cousin brother. They did their uttermost best. Well done, children. May the God bless you, all of you. May the Lord take care of you. And I pray that you all will take a leaf out of that page of Hans and walk in his footsteps. You'll never ever go wrong. A perfect man today. We know that Hans is no more with us, but his legacy will ever live for us forever. The man that he left. All we leave behind is our name. Not our wealth, not our health, not what we own, but when we leave. Hans lives today, a perfect example, a real role model, not only to his children, but to all of us. All of us that knew him can bear with me this afternoon. I speak from my heart. I don't write a speech. I speak from my heart. Well done, Hans. To you, I salute you. Go in peace. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that really, really beautiful tribute. I will now hand you over to Panditji. We now have a small voice recording that we will play, and thereafter we'll hand you over to Panditji.
Some say it's what you leave on this earth that shows what you did with your life. So, how do I find the words to express the legacy that was my Aja? Aja was a hard worker and a provider, but above all, he was an adventurer, the essence of an indomitable spirit. He was a common sight for those that lived in Zone 5, easily conquering all the hills and valleys on his daily walks. If we, the grandkids, were especially well behaved, we got to tag along and were regaled with stories of what the town used to be like. Of course, his travels weren't limited to this little town. He roamed the bustling streets of India and sipped coconuts on the white sandy beaches of Mauritius. Life wasn't always easy. Though he had little, generosity was always his prevailing trait. Whether he would try to sneak Shivy the last chop off his own plate or sneak sweets from the tuck shop into our hands, Aja was always giving. Even our dogs were treated to fresh milk in the kibble because he believed it was too dry. This, of course, tied in with his love of animals. His favorite pastime was sitting in the sun under the tree with all the fur babies. And when sitting outside became too tiring, the dogs would break into the house, much to Aji's chagrin, to spend time with him. Unstoppable is the word that best describes my Aja. Once he set his mind to something, there was no stopping him. Even a wheelchair and possibly expired ID book didn't stop him from voting in the last elections. Above all, Aja was a family man. His happiest moments were when we were all under one roof, sitting on those white plastic chairs, eating good food and reminiscing about the good old days. And though we may have heard those stories a million times before, the passion and wonder he entwined in those stories made it seem like we were hearing it for the very first time. Recently, all the grandchildren had become his favorite topics, from the older kids' accomplishments and careers to the new things Arya learned at school. Aja was equally proud of us all. I learned the news of his passing on a bright and sunny day in New Zealand. At first, my heart was angry that the world kept spinning and the birds dared to sing. I wanted there to be hail and sleet and snow to match what I was feeling. But then I realized that there's no better way to remember him than sitting on a bench outside on a warm summer's day, listening to the birds in the trees.
Thank you. I'll hand you over to Panditji too.
Meri Prem Namaste, Jai Shri Krishna to one and all of you. On behalf of myself and my family, we want to extend our deepest sympathies, sincere condolences to the Sewdass family, the extended family, friends, neighbors, and however you were related to the deceased. I pray that Bhagwan gives each and every one of you the strength to cope with the great loss. And thanks to all of you for showing support in time of need to the family. So before we begin with the actual puja, that is the Anyesti, which is the final rites puja, I'm just going to go through a little bit of discourse as to what happens to the Atma at time of death, where the Atma goes. Then we're going to touch on topics about the Pinda Dan. Right? Why we offer Pindas? Why is it important? How many do we offer? And then we're going to touch on two topics which I feel is very, very important. Right? First one being the performance of Godan. And the second one being my favorite, which is the observance of Pitra Paksh during the latter part of the year. So I'm going to start off by chanting a mantra. I'm going to give you the English translation to that. Om Neman Siddhanti Sastrani Nenam Dahati Pavaka Na Chainyam Kladivantapyona Sosyati Marutha. By now we all should know the Atma is ongoing. It cannot be cut by any weapon. It cannot be burned by fire. It cannot be dried by the wind. Nor cannot be wet by water. Now death is simply a change of body for the Atma. Remember the Sharir. Sharir we refer to is our body. It houses the Atma. And at a specific time, the Atma chooses to exit that physical body. Om Vasansi Jirnani Yatha Vihaya Navani Granate Naruparani Tata sarirana vihe jirnan yanyani sanyati navani dehi. What I've just chanted is telling us, just like we have old clothing, at some point or the other, we discard of that. We either give it to somebody that can wear it, or if it's badly perished, we discard of it. Same procedure for the Atma. When the physical body becomes aged, becomes sick, fragile and weak and cannot carry out its normal duties. Normal duties like getting up in the morning, doing your puja path, paying gratitude to Bhagwan, carrying on with your chores. When the physical body is unable to do all of those things, the Atma now tells itself, it is now time to leave this body and find a new body. So when the Atma exits the physical body, that is when death occurs. Okay. Now when death occurs, where does the Atma go to? What happens to it? The Atma goes straight into the atmosphere. Remember that the body was there as a whole. It housed the Atma for many years. So once it's up in the atmosphere, for one, it's all alone. There's nobody with it there. And the Atma is in a state of confusion. Why I say that? Because there's no home for the Atma. So it starts to wander in the atmosphere. So Vishnu Bhagwan spots the Atma and he sends his servants to go and take charge of that Atma. And at the same time, Lord Yamraj, you know who Lord Yamraj is the Lord of Death. He also sends his servants to take charge of that Atma. Unfortunately, you can't have two people in charge of one soul. Okay? So a little battle ensues between the servants of Vishnu Bhagwan and the servants of Yamraj. But ultimately the servants of Yamraj wins the battle. Because rightfully that Atma belongs to Lord Yamraj. So the servants take the Atma. And then it's judgment day. Questions and answers. Okay? The servants start to question the Atma. And during that time of conversation, the Atma asks for one thing from the servants of Lord Yamraj, and that is to go back home. And they give in to the Atma. They bring the Atma back home where it rests for 13 days. That is why at time of death, remember the Atma is gone from the physical body. What we left was just the body. The Atma is up in the atmosphere. We light a lamp. We prepare a makeshift bed. For who? For the Atma to come back home with that guiding light and that bed to rest on for the next 13 days. So when the Atma comes back home, we have to be gentle on it. We've got to look after it. And how we do that? They say after the final rites puja, starting today, you count your days. Okay? So from today till the 10th day or the 9th day, we should be offering a pinda a day. Okay? I'll tell you why. Firstly, let's go through the count of the pindas. We offer 6 pindas today on various points of the deceased body. The first one being on the head, above the head. Second one on the right shoulder, then we go the left shoulder, then we go the right knee, and then we go the left knee. The last pinda will be offered in the antechamber. We're going to do 3 here and 3 at the antechamber. The last one that we offer it into the right palm of the deceased. And the reason for that is the moment the pinda touches the right palm of the deceased, your Sutak period starts. What is Sutak? Your 10 days observance. That is why we count from day of funeral. Okay? So for the next 9 days, you should be offering a pinda starting today. Why we offer pinda? As I said, we have to create a body for the Atma to go into on the day of the 13-day Shraddha Puja, where the journey will start. So when we offer a pinda, half the pinda goes to the servants of Lord Yamraj, who is looking after the ark. We have half left. Quarter from that half is food for the Atma. And the last quarter is the formation of a new body. Because if we don't form that body, when we perform the 13-day Shraddha Puja, how is the Atma going to continue its journey? We can't. That is why we do that. So that period, we offer the pinda, we create that body for the Atma to go on the 13 days. Now we have done the 13-day ceremony. So we offer 6 pindas today. We'll offer 10 pindas for the next 10 days. That brings the count to 16. On the 13 days puja, we'll offer 20 pindas. That brings the count to 36. On the 5.5 months, we offer 9 pindas. That brings the count in total to 45. And then 11.5 months, we offer 7 pindas. So 45 and 7 will give us a total count of 52. How many weeks in a year? 52. That is how we spread the count of pindas during the observance of the deceased. You cannot offer more, nor can you offer less. It is said in scriptures we should be offering a pinda a week for the next 52 weeks. But unfortunately we can't. Why? Because we have responsibilities. We have to go to work. So that is how we spread the count of pindas throughout the year. So on the 30 days, we're going to offer 20 pindas, 16 round pindas and 4 cylindrical pindas. The 13 days puja is a very important one. Quickly, let's see. We're going to offer 16. Why we offer 16 round? Of that 16, the 11th offering, the 11th pinda is for the Atma, for its journey. The balance, which is 15, is for the Atma to gain access. Now you must be wondering what I'm talking about. If we're traveling from here to Johannesburg, we're going to pass towns in between. We're going to pass toll roads where you're going to pay your dues for using the road. So that 15 pindas, the Atma is going to take with him or her. And on his journey, he's going to pass through 15 villages. And at each village, there's a security guard like we have the toll road. It's going to ask the Atma what you brought. The Atma will hand them the offering that you gave. And he'll be allowed, or he or she will be allowed to go through. And that will occur for 15 villages. Not forgetting about the karmic actions that you have incurred, whether good or bad, it will come into play. That is why we always tell people, don't do the wrong thing. On your final journey, you're all alone. We can only pray and ask Bhagwan to guide the Atma. It's left unto each and every individual, whilst you're here on Dharati, on earth, do the right thing. Do the right thing, so your final journey will be like a walk in the park. We are walking in the park. So the Atma is traveling, and then as we come towards the closer to the 5.5 months Shraddha Puja, the Atma comes across the river. That river is wide, vast and deep. Obviously there's life in that river. At the end of the river there's a boat with a man in it. Now the Atma comes there, it can't stop his journey. If you're traveling and your car breaks down, you're going to take every effort to make sure, because you got family, wife and children, you got to fix your car so you can reach your destination. Similarly, the Atma needs to cross that river. So he asks the boatman for a lift to go across the river, and the boatman asks him in return, have you performed your Godan? What is Godan? Go in Hindi means cow, and Dan is to give. So Godan is the gifting of a cow. Now you must be saying, how is gifting of a cow going to help me? It's not only the gifting of the cow. And Godan is a proper puja. Not after you have done your Sattara and Vrat Katha, when you give your Pandit your Sida, and then after that you come with another tray with rice and a cow in the middle, and say, Panditji, please accept this for my entire family here, there's 8 of us here, please accept this as Godan. Incorrect procedure. Incorrect procedure. Godan is a puja on its own. There's 8 items, including the ornamental cow, that you got to gift to the Pandit that's performing the puja. And you can't do one Godan for 8 people. Each person has to do their own Godan. Because final journey, what you're going to tell the boatman? No, my brother did my Godan. But where's your brother? He's not here with you. So if Godan is done to remove obstacles, to make your life a little bit more peaceful, and to ask Bhagwan to guide you on the final journey. That is what Godan. We don't do Godan to kill people. I remember now, so small. They say, don't go to the house, they're doing Godan, something going to happen. And we grew up with that thing in our head. But when you read the scriptures, when you put pen to paper, and you begin to understand the scripture spiritually, it will make sense. It will make sense. I had many instances where people phone me, Panditji, we want to do Godan, but we're having mixed feelings amongst the family. I should go there and educate them. And at the end of my time there, okay, Panditji, let's do the Godan. We got to understand our scriptures. Our rituals are not there to make anybody's life difficult. It's there for a purpose. So that is the explanation of Godan. Then, the other thing that I want to talk about, and it's my favorite part, it's the observance of Pitra Paksha. Why I say it's so important to me? Because without my ancestors, I wouldn't be standing here. I don't know if you'll agree with me or disagree. But come the time when Pitra Paksha is about to start, there's so much of mixed feelings. There's so much of anxiety. There's so much of disagreements. Oh, why we must fast 14, 15 or 16 days, depending on the Panchang. Pitra Paksha is in the latter part of the year, over 14, 15 or 16 days. Now we must fast 14 days. And I hear people saying this, I must fast for that old man for 14 days. Really, guys? Is that how we treat our people who brought us here? Gave up everything to make sure that we were good. And then when it comes Pitra Paksha, long face, big heart, we want to fight with people. Oh, we can't go for a party. We can't go here. We can't do this. It's only 2 weeks, guys. It's only 2 weeks. The world is not coming to an end. Remember, when you sit, think about your ancestors. What they did for you. How hard they struggled. That gentleman came and stood up here and he was talking about the life back then. It was a good life. Although we didn't have much, but we enjoyed it. He made a statement that the house was 20 meters long where everybody stayed together. Today 2 people can't stay in the same room for half an hour. So you tell me, where is family relations? How we value one another. We're supposed to be growing up with values in life. Trust, love, honesty, respect. Those things make you a person. And the gentleman also said, when we leave this earthly plane, you leave 2 things behind. Either your good name or your bad name. It's either people talk good about you or they talk bad about you. The gentleman mentioned also, leave a legacy behind your name. And how you do that? By doing the right things. Now when Pitra Paksh comes, oh, we have to offer water. Don't worry about giving the food. The main thing is doing a tarpan. Do your tarpan in the morning. Take your name of your ancestors and watch how your life will prosper. Watch how your life will prosper. Because we owe it to them. We owe it to them. And then some people, they do for 3 days. They'll rush, do their puja, pull out their koos, and Pitra Pak is over for them. Done and dusted. Now I'll ask the question, when you were born, did your mother and father take you and look after you for 3 days and take you and throw you in an orphanage and forget about you? They didn't do that. So why we treat them like that? Why we treat them? Pitra Paksh is for people that we know. We shared memories, good or bad. We spend time together. We know them. We know the value of them. Do the right thing. Treat them with honor. Because without them, life would have been very difficult for lots of us. Do the best you can. And they say you have one life, live it to the best of your ability, you will be possible. Right? Providing you are abiding by the rules of Sanatan Dharma. Remember, Sanatan Dharma is not a religion, it's the way of life. That is Sanatan Dharma. How you treat people, how you talk to people, how you behave in society. Like the gentleman said, Bhaiji was a gentleman. When we depart, people must talk about us. When we depart, there's a space, there's a void. Nobody must be able to fill that because of your character. The best that you can be, where people will find it hard to find a replacement for you. But in all that is said and done, don't let that go to your head. Live a simple life. Be the best you can. Right? Pay gratitude to Bhagwan and our ancestors. And what more can you ask for? Get blessings and you live your life. I hope I have cleared any doubts in your minds, right? And that you learned something today. They always say, when in doubt, ask questions. Don't just follow. Because I've been around and lots of people, they ask me, Panditji, but why are we doing this? We never did this. We did it this way. I'm saying, take our scripture, read the scripture, understand. As I said, our religion, the culture that we follow, the rituals that we do is not done to make anybody's life difficult. Because if you look at the ritual and if you get somebody to explain it to you if you don't understand, and if it's done properly, you'll understand why we do it. With all that is said, I'm going to start with the final rites puja. It should take me at least 25 minutes maximum. You'll have another 20 minutes here to pay your last respects. Bhaiji will do some bhajans for us. And then we'll depart here at 3:15 to the auditorium. There will complete the final rites. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Sava Abhayantara Ganapatiye Namaha, Gauriye Namaha, Swaha. Om Keshavaye Namaha. Om Narayane Namaha. Om Madhavaye Namaha. Om Rishikeshaye Namaha. Om Govindaye Namaha. Om Madhusudanaye Namaha. Om Vagamesyastu. Om Nasurme Pramastu. Om Akshanurme Chaturastu. Om Kanyorme Shrotamastu. Om Bahurme Phalamastu. Om Muryurme Ojuastu. Om Aristharme Angani Tanastanvame Sahasantu. Om Swasti Swasti Swasti. Om Swasti na Govinda. Om Swasti na Chutanantu. Om Swasti na Vasudevur Vishnu Dadatu. Om Swasti na Narayana Naravar. Om Swasti no Padmanabhat Purushottamo Dadatu. Om Swasti no Vishvaksheno Hrideshvara. Om Swasti no Rishveko Hari Dadatu. Om Swasti no Vainityo Hari. Om Swasti no Narasutor Hanur Bhagavato Dadatu. Om Swasti Swasti Somangala Somahat Shri Krishna Sachidanandagana Sarve Sarveshwaro Dadhatu. Om Swasti na Indro Vridashravaha. Om Swasti na Puka Vishvavedaha. Om Swasti na Taksho Varistenami. Om Swasti na Brihaspati Dadhatu. Om Pavitresto Vaisnavayu Saviturva Utpuna Manchitrena Pavitrena Suryasya Rasmivi Tasya te pavitra putasya yatka mapune tachagiyam. Om Chandanam bhadate nityam pavitram papanasanam apadamaharte nityam Lakshmir vasatu sarvadha. Om Adya Adya Adya. Om Adya Falgunamasa Shukla Paksha Navami Tithau Buddhavara Vasre Hunsraj Sewdass Pretasya Pretatva Nipritya Uttam Loka Prapyartam Ordwadahikam Karishye Namaha Swaha. Alright, in the final rites puja, the first deity we acknowledge, we ask for blessings and guidance, removal of obstacles, is our Lord Ganesha. So we're going to chant his mantra. We're going to ask Ganpati Baba, take charge of this Atma. Bless and guide the Atma, cradle with safety, remove all the obstacles, make the final journey as comfortable as possible. Om Lambodaraye Viganeshwara. Om Lambodaraye Viganeshwara. Om Lambodaraye Viganeshwara. Om Ganantva Ganapati Gum Havame Priyanantva. Priyapati Gum Havame Nidinantva. Nidipate Gum Havame Vaso Mama Ahamajani गर्भधर्मात्वमाजसे गर्भदम् ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः श्रीगणपतये नमः गौर्यै नमः ॐ अम्बिकाबालिके नामन्याधिकश्चन सस्यत्वका सुभाद्री कम्पीलं वस्सिनम् ॐ श्री अम्बिकायै नमः श्रीगणपतये नमः गौर्यै नमः स्वाहा. The second deity we acknowledge is Sri Mahavishnu Bhagavan, who was the preserver of the mind, body and soul. We ask Vishnu Bhagavan also for blessings and guidance. Guide the Atma, may the final journey be comfortable. He is regarded as the father of the universe, right? When we do puja, we always pay our gratitude to Mahavishnu Bhagavan, okay, preserver of this universe, preserver of life and soul. Right? So we ask Bhagavan, accept this Atma, bless this Atma, give it all the love, give it all the care that it needs. Om Shriman Mahavishnu Bhagavanabhyo Namaha. Om Vishnur 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 Om Vishnur Rattamasi Vishnur Sapteshto Vishnur Surasi Vishnur Dhruvosi Vaishnavamasi Vishnavedava Om Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagnadhrashanam Megavardham Subhangam Lakshmikantam Kamalayanam Yogi Vidyanagamyam Vande Vishnu Bhavavayaram Sarvalokaikanadam Om Shri Mahavishnu Bhagavanabhyo Namaha Swaha. Alright, the third and final deity is a female goddess, Shri Mahalakshmi Mata. We also regard her as the mother. We ask Mahalakshmi Mata, take this Atma, her child in heaven, give it all the love and joy, give it all the care that it needs, right? As a mother's love, we ask Mata to help us, to guide us, right? Guide the Atma, show it care, give it the love, all that it needs, right? Om Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Triambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Om Lakshmi Sira Mudra Raja Dhanyam Shriranga Dharmeshwari Dasi Bhuta Samasta Deva Vanitam Loke Kadipa Anpuran Shriman Mandakataksha Labdha Vivavaha Brahmindara Gangadharam Tam Trayokya Kutumbini Sarasjiham Vande Mukunda Priyam Om Shri Mahalakshmi Mata Sarve Devibhyo Namaha Swaha. Om Adya Amka Gotrasya Hunsraj Sewdass Pretasya Mristane Savanimito Brahmadevta Va Estapinna Mayadiyate Tavopatistita Namaha Swaha. Om Adya Amukha Gotrasya
Hunsraj Sewdass प्रेतस्य भारदेशे पत्निमितो विष्णु देवता वाष्ट पिंडमायातियाते धवोपदिष्टितं नमः स्वाहा। ओम आद्य अमुक गोत्रस्य हंसराज स्यूदास प्रेतस्य चत्वार्चेकर्निमित्तस्य पिण्डमायादियाते भवोपदिष्टितं नमः स्वाहा। ओम अंगाहीनां क्रियाहीनां विद्येहीनां जयात् भवेत् अस्तु तत्सर्वं कृष्णाकर्षणा प्रसादता किञ्चित् वैगुण्यं च तं तत् विष्णु स्मरणम् अहं करोमि नमः। ओम स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवः ओम स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदः ओम स्वस्ति न ताक्षो वरिष्ठेनमि ओम स्वस्ति न बृहस्पति दधातु। प्रभु तेरे द्वारे आया है आत्मा शांति दीजिए हे परमात्मा। प्रभु तेरे द्वारे आया है आत्मा शांति दीजिए हे परमात्मा। जन्म मरण कर तेरे तालना मुक्ति दीजिए हे परमात्मा। जन्म मरण कर तेरे तालना मुक्ति दीजिए हे परमात्मा। प्रभु तेरे द्वारे आया है आत्मा शांति दीजिए हे परमात्मा। प्रभु तेरे द्वारे आया है आत्मा शांति दीजिए हे परमात्मा। हम सब मिलकर करते प्रार्थना सद्गति दीजिए हे परमात्मा। हम सब मिलकर करते प्रार्थना सद्गति दीजिए हे परमात्मा। प्रभु तेरे द्वारे आया है आत्मा शांति दीजिए हे परमात्मा। शांति दीजिए हे परमात्मा। शांति दीजिए हे परमात्मा। You know, they say in life, we always way around chasing our dreams, acquiring assets, buying homes, buying cars. But the day is going to come, the calling is going to be there, and we're going to leave everything behind. And then what happens? You'll get people fighting for things. Your things wasn't yours, and it's not theirs. They're going to fight for things that wasn't yours. You got it by the grace of God. And it's not theirs also, but they will fight. You know, there's a lovely bhajan where they say the time has come, the calling has come, and you leave everything and go. Ram naam jap le bande, ban jaye sab bigre kaam. आएगा जब तेरा बुलावा, आएगा जब तेरा बुलावा, छोड़ के सब कुछ चाहिए जी, छोड़ के सब कुछ चाहिए जी। राम नाम जप ले बंदे, बन जाए सब बिगड़े काम। आएगा जब तेरा बुलावा, आएगा जब तेरा बुलावा, छोड़ के सब कुछ जइयो जी, छोड़ के सब कुछ जइयो जी। धन दौलत ये माल खजाना, हाथी घोड़ा बंगला गारा, ये सब लाला छोरे बंदे, माया जाएगी जाएंगे। मुट्ठी बांध के आया जग में, हाथ पसर के जइयो जी। आएगा जब तेरा बुलावा, आएगा जब तेरा बुलावा, छोड़ के सब कुछ जइयो जी, छोड़ के सब कुछ जइयो जी। राम नाम जप ले बंदे, बन जाए सब बिगड़े काम। आएगा जब तेरा बुलावा, आएगा जब तेरा बुलावा, छोड़ के सब कुछ जइयो जी, छोड़ के सब कुछ जइयो जी। किया पानी से मलमल नहाए, मन के मेला गलियो जी। हार मास के देही बनी है, सब कुछ देही आ जाएगी। आज नहीं तो कल जाना, वापस है ना आयो जी। आएगा जब तेरा बुलावा, आएगा जब तेरा बुलावा, छोड़ के सब कुछ जइयो जी, छोड़ के सब कुछ जइयो जी। राम नाम जप ले बंदे, बन जाए सब बिगड़े काम। आएगा जब तेरा बुलावा, आएगा जब तेरा बुलावा, छोड़ के सब कुछ जइयो जी, छोड़ के सब कुछ जइयो जी, छोड़ के सब कुछ जइयो जी। Adopt a sense of detachment in your life. So at time of death, you don't ponder on who's going to take your house or who's going to take your car. That's what normally happens. Because we work so hard and we expect it to be forever. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. Life is not guaranteed that we're going to leave here today and everything is going to be fine tomorrow. We can't guarantee that. We can't. That's why we say, live life to the fullest. Yeah? Be your best. Yeah? And then the Atma is going to start his journey. Right? We don't know where it's going to land. Yeah? But we know the final resting place with Paramatma. That is Yamlok. Right? हो जाने है वो कौन नगरिया, आए जाए कदन खबरिया, जाने चले जाते कहाँ दुनिया से जाने वाले, जाने चले जाते कहाँ। कैसे ढूंढ कोई उनको नहीं कदमों पे भी निशान, दुनिया से जाने वाले जाने चले जाते कहाँ। वो जाने है वो कौन नगरिया, आए जाए कदन खबरिया, आए जब जब उनकी यादें आए, होठों पे फरियादे, जाके फिर ना आने वाले, जाने चले जाते कहाँ। दुनिया से जाने वाले जाने चले जाते कहाँ। ओ मेरे बिछड़े जीवन साथी, ओ साथी जैसे दीपक बाती, मुझसे बिछड़ गए तुम से सावन की जाते ही जैसे, उड़ के बादल काले काले, जाने चले जाते कहाँ। दुनिया से जाने वाले जाने चले जाते कहाँ। कैसे ढूंढ कोई उनको नहीं कदमों पे भी निशान, दुनिया से जाने वाले जाने चले जाते कहाँ। अरे जाने चले जाते कहाँ, अरे जाने चले जाते कहाँ। Thank you, Bhai. I'm going to hand you over to that Bhai Ji who will do more presents for us. and we have 15 minutes before we depart to the crematorium. Thank you.
चाहे रंग महल दौलत की शान हम तो मांगे तुझसे मालिक एक संतोष सलाम Om Shiva Hari Om Shiva again my namaste, namaskaram, vanakkam, good afternoon to each and every one of you. On behalf of the family, they would like to extend their sincere appreciation and gratitude to each and every one of you for making time out in observing this funeral service of their dearest beloved dad. For all your contributions, whether in cash, whether in kind, for the various floral tributes, messages of sympathies and condolence, they would like to place on record their sincere thanks and appreciation. On behalf of us, the Tongad Funeral Services, we would also like to extend our sincere condolences to the family. May God Almighty, in His infinite wisdom and compassion, grant you the strength to overcome this unbearable loss. Dear family and friends, we have come to the conclusion, and I would ask the immediate family members to rally around and say their last goodbyes. And once they have made their last offerings, we will then adjourn to the Farallon crematorium for cremation. I'll ask the immediate families, you can pay your last respects. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Oh Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to ask you to rise for the Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai